is to share a market update. Gosh, this is the best year we've ever seen. 2021 was. 2022 is going to be pretty much an exact replica of that. So, and as you know, inflation, when real estate investors hear inflation, what do they really hear? What's the other word for it? Appreciation. Yeah. And for those of us with rental properties, we love the sound of that word, right? So for us, inflation means something a little different. So this is the full year forecast for 2022. We expect the sales to be up. I'm hoping they're going to be up about 5%. If they're not, is it going to be because of a lack of demand? No. What is it going to be because of a lack of? Inventory, right? So that's going to be the one thing that might kind of hold us down, but it's not for lack of want, right? But year over year sales prices expected to be up at least 20%, maybe even more. Last year they were up 18.1%, and this year we actually have less inventory going in. The top part of this graph that I've got showing up here, that represents the full year 2021 results for the major variables. Sales price average 373, up 18% versus 2020. Months of inventory right now, we are at 1.2 months of inventory. Our 40-year historical average is about 6 months of inventory. And remember, I mentioned to you guys, like, what the heck does months of inventory? You know, understanding, making sure the people you're working with understand that. What this means, what the concept means is this. If you stopped listing houses today, in the market that we're in right now, for all of Texas, if we stop listing houses today, based on the buyer demand, the average buyer demand that we've had over the last 12 months, in exactly 1.2 months, we would be completely out of an inventory of homes to sell here in Texas. Whereas normally we are looking at being 6 months before we are out of inventory. 6 months is the market equilibrium, right? Not really a seller's market, not really a buyer's market. 6 months is where we're seeing kind of average price increases around 5, 6, maybe 7% a year, right? So we're significantly lower in this, and some markets are even less than 1 month of inventory. Let's talk about what's going to happen for the forecast and for last month's result for Dallas and Fort Worth as well. Last month, the average price was $412,000, up 17% versus what it was the prior month. Right now, Dallas-Fort Worth has 0.9 months of inventory, so not even a full month's supply of inventory right now. And then if you look at the forecast for Dallas on the right-hand side of the graph, last year we were actually down in terms of total sales. Again, not for lack of want, but for, again, lack of inventory. I think we'll be up this year in terms of sales, somewhere between 1 to 3% versus 2021. It's not going to be easy to do. It's never easy to do when you have this little supply of inventory. But the good part of this is that average price is going to be up somewhere between 18 to 20% year over year as well. For the other large major market in Texas, Houston, Texas, and I'll hit just the bottom right-hand portion of this, but all of the data is on our YouTube, our podcast, and websites as well. For the 2022 forecast for sales in Houston, up 7 to 10% versus last year. And last year in Houston, they were up over 10.3%. The average price up at least that 10 to 15% range. You know, it depends on oil. And we're having a little bit of a surge right now when it comes to oil. And as that continues, we might see some people taking some profits there, which they may use to invest in real estate, which is one of the best asset classes to invest, especially in a highly inflationary environment, which is what we're facing right now. So I mentioned to you guys that some parts of Texas have less than a 1 month supply of inventory. Very specifically, Austin, Texas has 0.4 a month supply of inventory. That's less than 2 weeks of inventory. So basically, if Austin stopped listing houses today, and in less than 2 weeks, they would be completely out of an inventory of homes for sale. It just kind of gives you an idea of how hot that market is. And in spite of that, last year, Austin was able to pull out an increase in sales up 2.5%. It was by a miracle. And I think if they can pull out another 2% above what happened in 2021, that would also be a miracle. But I can tell you right now, average price up 25 to 30% in that market alone. So lots of good profits to be taken. and reinvested in that market for sure. San Antonio, the most affordable of the 4 large markets last year, had a 5% increase in total sales versus 2020. Average price was up 16% versus 2020, and the forecast for 2022 sales up 3 to 5%, and the average price in that 15 to 18% range. So lots of exciting things happening. We're in a very disrupted environment, but wherever there is disruption, there's also opportunity. And as Winston Churchill says, never let a good crisis go to waste. So there's a lot of opportunity here for sure. And guys, also want to make sure you are aware, we're doing a little special announcement tonight as part of Texas REIAs. So over the last 2 years, we've had the ability to rethink what we do as a real estate investor association. So when I first joined the local REIA in 2003, and we started running it, and we eventually took it over and bought it, and then made it into Texas REIAs. At that time, the whole REIA concept, the REIA model, if you will, is to say every month we have a meeting, every month come back, learn something new, right? Spend about 3.5 hours with us, yeah? And then maybe in about 3 years, you'll have enough information to be a real estate investor, and by then everything will have changed anyway, right? Does that sound efficient? Sounds terrible. But it wasn't until about 2 years ago that I realized how terrible it sounded. So instead of saying, hey guys, come back every single month, we're going to talk about, we're going to share another 3 hours worth of real estate investing. Instead, we're compressing it down into one weekend, a Friday, Saturday, and Sunday, where we're going to talk about all of the different strategies. And for us, we've identified 12 major strategies. There are several variations on that, but 12 major strategies that we've used to stay unemployable since 2003. So we're going to be sharing those different strategies with you guys. We're also going to be sharing the marketing campaigns. So what did I tell you? Where did I tell you your deals were not? That would be the MLS. Where did I tell you your deals were? In some dark, dank, disgusting, dingy alley, right? And there's about 65 different ways to find directions to that alley. So we actually go through the exact way to be able to find these off-market deals. And on top of that, I have been studying negotiation. I've been studying closing scripts. I have written down every single objection I have ever gotten from a seller. And I've documented everything in every way to overcome an objection. Why did I do that? I like to win. I do. And winning sometimes comes with money, right? So I like money too. And I also like to help people. And sometimes, and I don't know how many of you guys have talked to a motivated seller in the past who the way that they were acting was in a way that was not ultimately going to help themselves, right? And sometimes they need, cold water, hot water in their face to be able to, and they need somebody who's been doing it, who can help them and who understands the process and the ins and outs to be able to help them do that. So we go through what we call our closing scripts. So exactly what to say for the real estate investor. We'll also introduce you to other investors to partner with and then get access to funding. A couple of you guys have said that you need a little bit of funding. And the one thing that we have also decided to do, and we started this 2 years ago, is we said, in March of 2020, we said, okay, for the next 2 weeks that we're in shutdown, we're going to do this for free. Yeah, and then 2 weeks turned into how long? I don't remember. What day is it? Yeah. And then I said, okay, well, Phil, as long as people are still wearing masks, right? We're going to do it for free. And I think someone's just handing out masks just right outside of my meetings to make sure that I continue to do this for free. But seriously, this is going to be the last month we are going to do it for free, because I think by now someone's adjusting our masks. It's like, okay, so guys, this is an opportunity for you guys to learn from us. This is a commitment that I made to Texas REIAs, so I'm honoring my commitment. I can't wait till everyone's not wearing a mask anymore, but get it while it's hot. So we're going to do it. We've got several dates that we are doing our 3-day training. So this is your opportunity to learn from us and learn from people who have not had to update their resume, work for anyone else, take a paycheck from anyone else, be bossed around by anyone else, be driven crazy by anyone else over almost 20 years. So we've got several coming up. The next one that we have is in Dallas, April 1st, 2nd, and 3rd. After that, we have Houston, April 8th, 9th, and 10th. And then we have in Austin, April 29th, 30th, and May 1st. Guys, you will also be able to, if you can't come in person, we've got some cool technology here that allows us to simulcast. So if you want to be in person, we would love to have you. If you want to come online because you are working, I know how that little trick works for many of you guys. You're more than welcome to do that too. So we'd love to have you. Now, the way that you get registered for this, so if you are in person, if you are sitting in this room, yes, many of you guys have ordered food or drinks using a QR code. You guys can use the QR code that we have on the screen if you're in the room. If you're watching with us online, hi guys, you'll just click the link right below the slide right here. But for those of you guys who are online, you can pull out your camera, point it at the QR code. It will pull up your internet browser and it will take you to a registration page. So we're trying to do this touchless just to kind of give a little distancing as well. We'll ask you a couple questions because we want to help you guys, want to find out where you are at, and we want to help you guys work on your personalized plan. So if you'll go ahead and fill that out while you're in the meeting, we've got a little special surprise to give you. Some of you guys saw our real estate investor blueprint that we showed on the screen with the 273 different things that we've learned since we've started investing. We brought several of those blueprints, a 3-foot by 2-foot blueprint to be able to share with you guys. So get signed up for this. You can sign up for it during the second part of our meeting, which we're about to start. And if you want to just come out and show us that you're signed up, we'll be able to hand you a blueprint. Now, one of the steps in here is to sign up for our Texas REIAs Facebook page. Sign up for our Texas REIAs Facebook page. That's the final step. That's the one that confuses some people. So I want to make sure that you get signed up for that so that we can have you guys with your blueprint and also on your road back home as we finish up the meeting tonight. So I want to thank you all again for being here with us tonight. It was both fun and wonderful to spend some time and get to know you guys. So